And away we go. Hold on. Open doors. And I don't even know if this. I'm coming. I'm here. Okay, is it working? It's working. Oh, it worked. Oh. Show's starting. I'm still in my, hi. Oh, what a day. How are you? Good to see you. Welcome, everybody. What's going on? Hello. And hi there. It's me. It's the day before Christmas, and we're all feeling very festive around here, I can tell you. Welcome to all of you, and I want to thank everybody overall excuse me, I have to do a, are you sure you're not a robot moment to get into my own chat. Hi, everybody. So, so much to look forward to over the next couple of weeks, not the least of which is, of course, if you've been following the news lately, a war with Iran, apparently. Trump thinks he's gonna on his way, like, oh, we can't. Somebody's probably thrown the whole, you can't change horse midstream, wartime president, that's the way to stay in office, work for W, so why not, basically confront Iran and act like it's an act of retaliatory war. You don't have to declare war to have a military strike to fight back against it. You declare war on the country, but to hit the country in a retaliatory, you probably could just act based on some sort of obscure sentence from the Cold War that allows you to launch a nuclear strike, right? There's probably somebody in your office has been digging around for that stuff. And so he thinks he's going to declare war on Iran on his way out the door. Not so much. Just for the record, don't expect that to actually happen. He might, whinge about it a bunch. He might think it actually will happen, but it's not. It's not gonna. Yeah. It's over. He's done. And check this out. This is kind of I'm going to show you kind of the nicest thing you're going to see all day, if I may, if I can do that. Oh, and I've got to put my headphones in, too, because I took them out to do a documentary I was filming a part of earlier. I was asked to be a part of a documentary. It happens a lot to people like me in my position. I'm often asked to be part of documentaries. And so I didn't have my headphones in, because who needs them? This is going to be one of the nicest things you see all day. I mean, it made me feel Christmassy and holiday-ish. It's right up there with talking dog videos and little kids seeing for the first time. All those kind of videos that make you feel hopeful for humanity. It's this one right here. It's this video right here. This is you might be familiar with this guy right here. This is the president leaving to go to Mar-a-Lago and stay there. Isn't this, just enjoy this. Yeah, okay, bye. Thumbs bye. Get in there. I don't care. No crowd, waving him goodbye, just turned around. Thanks. And there's people baggage handlers at the airport going, we weren't talking to you. He's got a friend named Donald. I don't know. That's nice. Doesn't that feel good? Yes, it's Donald Davenport with even more luxurious hair. Hello. Don't hate me because I'm a genius and beautiful. It's kind of a glorious thing. And then this is a long form too. This is Epic Times putting the video up, man. They the whole thing. The plane, there you go. All the people doing their thing. Yeah, there you go. Firing up the engines, pulling back the stairs. It's just majestic. It's I hate to see him leave, but I love to watch him go. They're just sitting in there. He's just farting the place up, and then the plane takes off. Off he goes. Man, they've got all of it, man. There's Air Force 2, I guess. An Air Force 2.5. Air Force, the two dummy planes that fly along next to him that pretend to be. Look at that. Look at it flying. Only Donald Trump could fly so majestically in Air Force One. Look at our right side viewers will always want to view that footage. I have to say, hype train, modesty. Ha! This is, yes, modesty kills in my industry. I've learned that the hard way. And by the way, I, you guys know that I'm terrible at promoting my own show. You guys are aware of this. That's why Can't Stop Lying has been the greatest gift to this show in so many ways. Just because he does the thing I just pathologically have a difficult time doing. And I certainly can't bring myself to do commercials. The way Stuttering John does when I'm on his, for whatever product they're going to throw his way, or the way Steph does. It's just weird to me, Anyways, I just can't do it. I can't bring myself to do it. I'm terrible at doing it, and I'm not going to pretend that I'm actually good at it. And so I hopped over to some other channels in the zone that I'm in to see how they handle it. And like David Pakman, bless his heart, and I salute you, Dave, ends all of his videos with one of his sponsor ads right at the tail end of it. Just not messing around, not leaving it up to YouTube to tag an ad on there, just doing it himself. And it's obviously cut at a different time. They just throw it on at the tail end. Kind of like on the MSNBC videos where they still show Chuck Todd, no matter who's in the video, going, thank you, or Ari Melber, thank you for watching MSNBC's YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. All that stuff. They tag those on to the end. Fine. That's as an adult on YouTube, I should be able to get my act together and finally, eventually shoot one of those and do it. But, oh my God, the Young Turks. Like, simmer. We have to, oh, thank you, a tea. Lovely. Thank you, my love. How was your workout?
Good.
All right. Summer just got back from the gym. She's killing it. She's looking great. You look fabulous, by the way. How you doing? Yeah, Murph, I agree. She looks super sexy. I hate to see you go. Right. Huh?
Watch it.
No, I said, I was like, I'd love to watch you leave. I was just saying, all right. All right, never mind. You can't. She just got back from the gym and brought me a
I'm gonna bring this award in
nice.
for you.
Huh? Oh, bringing Murphy. Oh, the award. Right, yes. Oh, yeah, actually.
You want it?
Yeah. So, the Fiducies are live, guys. This is to me terrible at promoting stuff that I'm in. The Fiducies, which is an award show for the worst financial criminals in the world, an award show for people you kind of don't hear of until Trump makes them into the. It's heavier than you might think it is. Thank you, my love. I'll just keep it nearby. Yeah, seriously. I'm afraid to leave me alone with it, too. The Fiducies are an award show and I'll post the link after today's show so everybody can watch it over the holidays and hopefully bump up the numbers on it and all that kind of stuff. But the Fiducies are it's basically to call out the Kelly Loefflers of the world and the Steve Mnuchins of the world, the biggest financial crooks. Guo, the dude that Steve Bannon was arrested on his yacht, that dude, So we hand out these awards to these scumbags that, because it's white collar and financial crime, a lot of times they just don't get the attention they need. So in an attempt to sort of grab the media attention around these people and start getting people to pay attention, because a lot of the actions of these people, end up like the Martin Shkreli's of the world, end up killing more people than bank robberies do, ultimately, for all kinds of reasons. But this is the award they get. They get a big golden ass. That's the. I'm not showing you the other side because it's very, yeah. Anyways, they get there you go. They each get one of these sent to them. It's totally disgusting. And by the way, just in case you think it's actually bronze or something, it's made out of a sex toy, because there's no way we're paying any, to have something special made for these jerks. They just haven't earned it. Yes, it's the federal douche, the fiduciaries, the monetary. Yes, it has a gold nutsack. It's an ass. It's definitely an ass. And they get one of these. This is what the fiducie is. So there you go. That they get, yeah. They deserve less, but we give them more than they deserve. So the Fiducies are live, and I will put the links up after the show today on my Twitter feed, and a link to it in the stories on my YouTube page and all those fun areas. And yes, so yeah, it's about fiduciaries. The fiduciary responsibility that people have when they're dealing with other people's money. These are the creeps and criminals that run off of it. Yes, the fiduciary award. Get it? Yeah, I got it? There you go. So anyways, very proud. This is my second year hosting. We had to do it from home this year. Hopefully next year, I'm insisting we get a giant venue. So, and there's a lot of grown-up language, because that's the only language these people understand. So there you go. Hello, London. Oh, the Mango Menace just flayed away. I mean, we could just watch him go again if you want. There he goes. He's leaving. Oh, this when they finally take him home. Oh Lord. Look at this. Yeah. Okay. See you later. Thanks. Thumbs up. Bye. Let's go. And by the way, the TYT thing I was saying before they came in. Oh my God, they hard sell it all the time. Literally, like, TYT/go underneath the thing all the time. Just like they need $9 million by the end of the month to run like what? What? They have this huge contract with YouTube that it's got to be worth a pretty penny. Their production, I mean, me, Pac-Man, a couple other people. I mean, it's not better than what we're throwing together by any stretch. And what do they need the millions of dollars for? What are they doing with it? I'm dead serious. What's their cost point? Editing pieces together? What? Where is it I mean, how much do like Cenk and Anna take as a salary if they need that much money by the end? I mean, like, it's a hard time spank it again. I'm not going to spank it again. I will not. This will turn into an OnlyFans. I have to pay the Russian bounties, right? I'm puzzled by it. I mean, I know it's hard to make a living streaming and stuff, as I've been finding out, as many people who've transitioned during COVID have, and so to make sure you have money coming in so your bills get paid and all that kind of stuff requires as much effort as any other job, if not more, because not a lot of people understand what the hell you're even doing, But that's what they've always done. It's always been that. TYT's never been a show. It's never been a channel, I think Newsmax is even on cable, right? Isn't it? I don't know. If I gave a shit, I'd look it up, but I don't care about Newsmax. That said, I'm still kind of amazed at but no, the money doesn't go to Justice Democrats. That's raised separately. It has to be legally. Yeah. I like David. He's a good dude. I just don't know. Honest to God, I don't know where that money goes. I am not seeing it on screen. I don't understand. I've been to their actual set in, their facility in Culver City in California. It's in like a warehouse district where they rent one of those buildings, and those aren't cheap. Those kind of spaces aren't cheap, and I'm sure the internet backup and stuff like that. I mean, there's some payments going in there, but it ain't $9 million kind of stuff. I mean, they don't, it's not like they have reporters in other countries represent. I mean, they're not the Christian Science Monitor, for Christ's sake. I just don't know. Was cable TV? Was? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They make 25 million. It's not there, though. That's what I'm saying. The production isn't asking for that. It's not like they still maintain the space. It's very weird. Let me see, what was the whole, got it wrong. TYT was cable TV. YouTube funded its founding, those YouTube funded its founding on YouTube. $25 million initial investment. They asked for $200,000 for the entire year. No, they don't. Not $200K for the entire year. He was literally pushing for $9 million. Yeah. Anyways, it's just weird. Go make your money. Like I said, if that's where people are going to give their money and support, knock yourself out. I just was amazed at the hard sell right out of the gate. That was just weird. Thank you, Richard. Yeah, that goes towards that's towards your 9 million. I appreciate that. And which is my long way around to saying that I don't know why I have such a hard time just going, hey, super chats really help, and we need, if you can support the show, we love it, and please patreon.com and stars, and now memberships on YouTube. There you go. Thank you, Eric. Yeah. Can President Dum Dum use martial law to overturn the election? No. Big joke, not going to happen. Waste of time. Don't fret. Not happening. Ridiculous. A lot of flailing and gnashing of teeth, but sound and fury representing nothing. But today, I don't even know the order by which to do this. So Sean Spicer has a show on Newsmax. And I don't know why, but he always looks like this on the show. Every single sentence that comes out of his mouth, he looks like he's like, oh, don't stop it. Oh God. He looked more relaxed on Dancing with the Stars. And she's had enough. This looks like we're watching a virtual divorce court. You know what I mean? Where this is welcome to Judge Janine's irreconcilable differences. I did not. He did so. So, just to be abundantly clear. Oh, shut up. No, you don't get to talk yet. She just does not seem convinced, and I'm not quite sure why. So they're going to be talking a bit about Rudy Giuliani. He has an interview with Rudy, and Rudy is in a restaurant in the dark back corner of it. But I'm dead serious. I don't pre-watch these things, but I had to check and see if this was the clip or not. So I'll go through and I'll do like this. I'll just flip through and I'll go, okay, is the majority of it this? And the vast majority of the time when Sean is talking, I would land on all these pictures where he's just like, while he's talking to Rudy. Now, I thought that was just his reaction to Rudy Giuliani, but apparently it's just how he is all the goddamn time. So anyways, here we go. Let's jump in.
Asking the Supreme Court.
Oops, wait, quit. I got to turn off my other speakers. Otherwise, it'll doubly be loud. Here you go.
To challenge the electors in Pennsylvania. Let's get some more on this from the leader of the president's team.
Speaking
Rudy
of
Giuliani, Mr. Mayor.
Speaking of morons.
Mayor, thanks for joining us again.
Good. Okay, great. Thanks. Just nod. Yes, you're centered. I don't know why. Is it fog? Are your glasses fogged up? It says, in God we trust, or in something we trust, behind him. In sandwich we trust? Is he in a restaurant?
Mr. Mayor, you there?
How are you, Sean?
I'm good.
How are you, baby? Moisha, I like that picture, baby. Hey, can't wait to come back. Sean, put on that little dancing outfit you had on there, baby.
Great, thank you, sir. Let me ask you, walk me through this case that you guys have filed with the Supreme Court.
Literally, why does Sean Spicer, as he's asking these questions, look like he's just retreating into his own neck?
Why is this different than the previous cases that you have filed?
Lost. The word you're looking for is lost.
Why is it happening just now? And let me ask you this. I know it's a lot to get into one question, but even if you win that, is it just about the 20 electoral votes in Pennsylvania?
Well, I mean, you have to go state by state. I remember an old adage that I learned
we're getting an old adage now. Rudy's done some good ones.
From baseball.
Oh, baseball one.
When you're down by 10 runs, you can't score 10 runs on one hit. So you got to get one run at a time.
Oh, that old adage. You guys remember that old adage? I remember my grandfather used to sit me on his knee and say, you know, it's like in baseball. If you're 10 runs down, you can't hit one man with one bat, can't hit 10 runs. It's just not, he'll never get up. There's too many people between him and the next batter for him to hit one, run all the way around, and then get back up to bat. Unless everyone's, and never mind, I digress. The point is,
So the way I look at it,
is through foggy glasses in a dark room.
we have to win one of these legislatures.
The keen legal mind of Rudy Giuliani brings you that we have to win in one of these. And you have to win in all of them.
And I think we have 3 good ones to pick from.
Yeah, just pick. You don't even need all 3. Just get one of them.
Pennsylvania,
Pennsylvania.
Georgia, and Arizona.
Yeah, that's your key right there. Pennsylvania, Georgia, and you're not going to win Pennsylvania. Georgia and you're not going to win Georgia. And Arizona, you're not going to win Arizona. Okay, but just pick one.
And I think in either one of those cases, there's a good chance that we've demonstrated enough fraud, actually overwhelming fraud in a few cases.
Yeah, it's so overwhelming. Everybody who looks at it goes, what the fuck are you talking about?
That the state legislature has a very, very strong basis to make a determination that the election in those 3 states was stolen. That they, in fact, are the final arbiters. They're the final arbiters under the United States Constitution. And
no, they're not.
That in essence, their state has filed false and fraudulent information with the United States government.
No, they haven't. And that's not at all how the... By the way, I can tell you right now that Rudy's 3 cases will fail because of his fundamental ignorance about the law in all of those states and federal law. They are still falling back on this dipshit idea that you can just make up the electoral... You can hand off the electoral power, but you can seize it back without legislation at any time you want and just give it to whatever party.
The vote was filed by Arizona is a false statement. It's not true.
Well, you don't want it to be true, so but that doesn't make it not true.
So why did it take
why
so long to do this? Why couldn't this have been done?
Yeah, why don't you lead with, here's a good idea in your baseball analogy. Why don't you bring your best hitter out early instead of waiting until the game has been over for 6 weeks to send him to bat? Well, that's exactly what they would expect us to do.
2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, a month, because it seems like now that the Electoral College has met, it puts you guys, your backs up against the wall. Big
your back's up against the wall, Rudy. And what wall is that?
time.
Because it took that long to get a
Thank you,
hearing.
domestic.
Nobody wants to hear us. We tried 80 courts. We didn't get a single hearing in any court.
You wouldn't present your evidence until they gave you a hearing. Why would you do that? Why? Why wouldn't you just go, Your Honor, here's the evidence that we are going to present? What kind of an asshole lawyer on anybody's behalf files a lawsuit without some semblance of evidence to prove that there is a reason for the court to move on it? No. We want to file our lawsuit guaranteed because of who the president is. We want to automatically get a hearing, and in that hearing, we'll present evidence that none of them will agree to give under oath. So we'll give you this stuff, but it won't count towards stuff that actually happens in the... Jesus Christ.
Courts wanted nothing to do with it.
Why would that be? Because of Sidney Powell's spelling mistakes?
They used excuses like, we were too late. We filed 2 weeks after the election and we were too late. Or there's no standing.
Yeah, no. Those are 2 totally different things. Even, I think Sean Spicer's blacking out.
It's kind of
It's like, ugh, I just pooped a little.
ridiculous to say that Texas has no standing.
Texas has no standing. Texas has no standing in telling another state how to conduct their elections. Unless, of course, we want to look into the ES&S machines and have a complete review. So whatever Texas asks of Georgia, it must be willing to do to the machines that used in its own state. Yeah, you're right. The case would be dropped immediately by them.
They filed every excuse they could to avoid the merits. The only place
They filed. Who filed it? The Supreme Court gave you one sentence and then another paragraph.
we found
They only needed one sentence.
that would listen even more than 10 minutes to the evidence that we had with the state legislature. It began with Pennsylvania, and then Arizona, and then Georgia. And they've been willing to go into the evidence and look at it.
Yeah, and they've all been embarrassed and said, "It's none of this stands up. Why is no one under oath?"
And they were
No one in Rudy's Senate hearings that they were gathering, no one who they presented as a witness, nobody they presented as an expert witness themselves, as far as forensic auditing of machines or cyber experts, which, whatever. No one in those exchanges was under oath. Not a person.
were skeptical at first because the propaganda is so great that there's no evidence of fraud.
There's no evidence of fraud. Well, there's minor evidence of fraud. Obviously, there's two people that voted on behalf of their dead relatives for Donald Trump.
And over the last week, they've seen so much evidence that they're really shocked. I mean, for example.
Yeah, give us an example. Shocking evidence. Bring it. Let's hear it. You guys ready? Be ready to be shocked. What do you think? Georgia videotape of the people tabulating after the counting was done. It matched up with all the counting. All right.
The videotape in Georgia is a
pile of shit.
A bank heist on television.
Well, then it's not a bank heist then maybe it. Oh, I get it. It's a television bank heist, which means it's fiction. I see.
I mean, you can see the 40,000 votes being stolen.
No, you can't. You can assume that if you refuse to look at the other elements that are there.
You have to be an idiot not to realize
that you're a terrible attorney and you don't know what you're talking about. And yeah,
that's a stolen vote. Or in Arizona filed a piece of paper.
A piece of paper? Hold the phone.
In which they attribute no
And right now, Sean Spicer is all of us. Huh?
Votes.
Literally like, you sent me this stuff and I looked at it. Yeah.
To non-citizens. No votes. Is it possible that in Arizona, not a single non-citizen voted?
Yeah. Well, it's possible they tried, but it's not. It's also possible that the state managed to remove all those folks. And by the way, it's not only if you choose to vote illegally, and you're in the country and you're undocumented, and you want to have if you want to stay in the country, if you eventually want to be part of amnesty, or you want to be, you're edging on the age where DACA might be part of how you could be here, or you want any shot at all of eventually, even if you go back to your country, coming back in here and getting a chance at being an American citizen in the future, any shot at all. If you're busted for voter fraud, that's a federal offense. You can't become a citizen after that if you're not already one. Who the hell is going to take $200 to vote in an election, which they have to go through the registration, they have to get a driver's license, they have to get a photo ID, they have to use their, a fake birth certificate to get potentially 20 years in jail and permanently ruin your chance of ever becoming a citizen if you're caught, just to vote once. Who's going to do that? They're just going to stay home and tell the other members of their family that are legal voters to vote.
Or is it possible that Arizona filed a false statement?
It's possible that the number of people that tried or did it accidentally or thought, oh, I'm here on a green card, and they thought that gave them the right to vote and they were rejected, that the state has those incidences, but there's like 9 human beings who did that and it doesn't affect the overall vote. Because I guarantee in that same filing, that one page that they filed, there is a similar statement. These are allowing for margin of error of less than, half of 1%.
I would say
I'm not. Look, Mr. Mayor, I'm not a lawyer, but don't you have to actually prove that they did versus them proving they didn't?
Uh-huh.
We do, and we do. The number of votes in Arizona we have to make is only 10,000.
Well, make one. He's asking you to make one. Name somebody.
Don't you think it's going to be pretty easy to show 10,000 non-citizens voted in Arizona?
No. If it was, you'd have done it by now, you big dummy. Listen to that. Listen to this bullshit. Listen to this.
We do. The number of votes in Arizona we have to make is only 10,000. Don't you think it's going to be pretty easy to show 10,000 non-citizens voted in Arizona? All I need to do is to have the state give me the names of the people who voted, run them against a LexisNexis accurate count. I'll come up with 40,000.
Why? Because there's a Juan Gonzalez who's a citizen and a Juan Gonzalez who isn't a citizen, who may or may not even still be in the state, but there may have been other Juan Gonzalez's. And so you'll just assume that anybody with a Hispanic name was voting fraudulently because that Juan Gonzalez, even though he's a legitimate citizen, he's got the same name as somebody who isn't. So you can just kind of throw out his vote, assuming that it was probably one of the other three that have lived there allegedly in the last... What the hell? Then prove it!
Okay, but the state won't give us a name, nor will they let us look at the machines. If they didn't cheat, Sean, why won't they let us examine the machines?
Because you are carpetbaggers. You are outsiders. You are not vetted and you have no right. You have no certification that says you have any reason or right to go in and look at those machines, or any expectation that says that you will do right by them and not insert malware, mess around with them. You yourself, Rudy Giuliani, are a security risk. You are currently under investigation by SDNY for working on behalf of a foreign country illegally. You yourself have been the target of Russian disinfo. What kind of an asshole governor would let you anywhere near the election machines when they've got an election coming up in 2 years with near their software with your experts from God knows where, and let them monkey around with the machines until you get the result you want? What? Look at the numbers published. Look at the numbers on the Secretaries of State's website, the number of voters that they've got presented, the number of ballots counted. They match up. If you have reason to believe, if you can go, here's what Rudy Giuliani has to do. If Rudy Giuliani really wants to make this stupid friggin' case, here's what he needs to do. He needs to gather a bunch of civilian volunteers, and they need to do a door-to-door canvass on every registered voter in Maricopa County, and then compare their numbers statistically with some sort of nonpartisan election observer with them, and then make their case that our number doesn't match the state's, and our number has been verified by some secondary source that is not paid by us, that is there on a voluntary, an election security firm or somebody like that does voluntary, like seriously. Do your goddamn homework.
Why does the governor of Georgia continue to hold on to the machines that he paid $110 million for, and he refuses to let us examine the machines?
Because you'll see that he stole the election that made him governor. Duh.
So do you have the access you need now, though, Mayor?
No, he does not.
Do you have that access?
Because you're crooked and you fooled around.
Don't talk to Sean like that.
With the machines. If you weren't afraid, if you're Biden and you're not afraid of those machines and you don't want a cloud on your presidency, then have at it. Look at all the machines.
Yeah, that's a great argument for why Trump should have given his taxes. If you're not worried about your financial ties to the underworld and to the Russians, why don't you give up your taxes? Why haven't you shown your taxes? I mean, every other president has. Now, not every other president that's run has allowed for, asked a complete forensic audit of the software of the voting machines in the United States since we've been using them to counter-tabulate elections since what? Reagan's second term? Beginning of George H.W. Bush? When was the first time we were really using them?
See, a heart's content. They don't
Okay,
want to
but
let me look
do
at the machine.
you have the access you need now to prove it?
He's not listening to you, Sean. He's yammering at his phone in a crowded restaurant. But I have to say, the production quality here is... Ask him again. Yeah.
Mayor, do you
No, that was good. That was probably the best... It was probably the best moment of the whole thing.
Mayor, do you have the access to those machines that you just stated to go in there and prove the allegation?
You know, this has been since somewhere in October of this year. It's been the strangest experience of my life.
All right.
It's like I've been living in the Iron Curtain.
It's like I've been living in the Iron Curtain. Okay, first of all, you live behind an Iron Curtain, but all screwed analogies aside, boo frickety who.
I'm living in a country with the kind of censorship that I remember as a young child in East Germany, the Soviet Union. I can't get on ABC, NBC, CBS.
Yeah, that's really what defines Soviet era censorship and the Berlin Wall. Some of you may or may not know that my uncle met my aunt in East Berlin, and he smuggled magazines to her and her friends in his pants legs when he would go from west to East Germany when he was in the army. And one day the CIA came to his door and said, they know you're doing this, and the next time you go through, they're gonna shoot you. And so he had to, oh my gosh. Of course my mom is FaceTiming me. Hi, I'm streaming right now, of course. I love you. Can I call you back later?
Thanks for the flowers that came.
Okay, well, you're welcome. I love you. I'll talk to you right afterwards. Okay, I love you. Bye. Bye. She got her flowers. So there you go. Good Lord. That was loud. You can't, I mean, I'm sorry, it's the holiday week. There's no way normally I would, text her and say, I'll call you back after, but come on. Yeah, Mom, I'm on the interwebs, right? So anyways, where was I? Oh, yes. So my uncle nearly got killed for smuggling magazines, just with in newspapers in his pants legs. They were going to murder him. The Soviets used to kill people publicly for smuggling in Western newspapers. But Rudy thinks that he's living behind an iron curtain because he can't bloviate this bullshit on, to his way of saying, what networks did he say? What networks could he not get on? And this is indicative of him living by the way, he's streaming live on the internet, which is free and available to everyone. I'm talking over it. Sean Spicer, the former spokesperson from the Trump White House, is the host. He's got a show called Spicer. He's having him on live. He's not only not behind an iron curtain, unless that's why it's so goddamn dark, he's being interviewed on his phone in a restaurant. Listen to this. Where can't he get the show on the air?
A young child in East Germany, the Soviet Union.
A young child.
I can't get on ABC, NBC, CBS.
Okay, I can't get on ABC, NBC, CBS. Okay, no, you can't, because you're just not interesting. But also, you have a show on the ABC radio network, WABC in New York. He has a show literally on WABC. I'm sorry. Do the networks? By the way, if you were going to have some sort of like fair allotment of time, maybe talk to the ghost of Reagan for getting rid of the legislation that made it so that campaigns had equal time.
Can't even get on Fox anymore.
Well, that's just adorable.
If I say the word fraud,
Uh-oh. Oh, great. No, hey, YouTube, he said it, I didn't. He said frog. Please don't demonetize algorithm bots, please. Listening to the words, please. I didn't say I was saying home title fraud. That's what I was. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, that's right. Giuliani says that he can't even say the word fraud, and he'll get kicked off. Rudy Giuliani runs ads for Home Title Lock, which protects against title fraud. He says fraud, the word fraud, almost as many times as I'm saying the word fraud, in about 45 seconds. Thank you, the Fairness Doctrine, Mark. That's exactly right.
I'm thrown off the network.
So they do have taste in breeding.
I'm sorry. There was fraud. I'm telling the truth, and they're lying. And not
Yeah, well, then show your evidence, cite single cases, and start building. You're 10 runs down, Rudy. You can't hit all 10 at once, right? Right? That old baseball adage. So start with one person, because the voters that said their votes were suppressed in Pennsylvania were red county voters who screwed up their signatures on their ballots. Their ballots were not counted, and they wanted people's votes in Philadelphia to be kicked out because those people did have volunteers curing ballots. That's your one case. There's two guys that they filed.
Not only are they lying, they're practicing a level of censorship that is so un-American that it's frightening.
Why is it censorship? They're vetting what they think is legitimate news. It will negatively affect their bottom line over time if somehow you come out on your YouTube channel and you present actual evidence that's impressive to everyone, which you have yet to do. The news will pick it up.
Going back to banning any evidence about the Biden hard drive.
They didn't ban evidence about the Biden hard drive. Didn't happen. None of the networks banned evidence about the Biden hard drive. What they banned was you pretending that that hard drive was actually Hunter Biden's and not provided to you by Russians in Ukraine acting as sock puppets for Vladimir Putin in an attempt to scuttle the Biden presidency. You've given if the networks aren't going to run with it, if the networks are refusing to run with the laptop, then why is the FBI refusing to run with it? Or the Delaware State Police Department? Why did they look at the metadata and never call you back and call you a crackpot and stop returning your phone calls?
Which proves that the Biden crime family is a 30-year-long criminal syndicate.
So speaking of that hard drive.
Yeah. Tell us about the hard drive.
Today, the Attorney General, Bill Barr, said that he will not appoint a special prosecutor. But I want to bring you back to these reports that in the Oval Office, Sidney Powell,
oh boy,
who had been part of your legal team until she was dismissed, has been there at least 3, potentially 4 times.
He's trying to interrupt already.
So there's a rumor that she is trying to become, or people are advocating that she be appointed special counsel and that their
instead of you, Rudy,
machines be seen. Can you tell us what's happening in the Oval Office and what her role will be?
Let me say definitively, Sidney Powell is not part of our legal team. She hasn't been for 5 weeks. She is not a special counsel for the president. She does not speak for the president.
Oh, ow, Rudy, ow. She's a true patriot. She's the only person doing this. Yeah.
Nor does she speak for the administration.
Ooh.
She speaks for herself. And she's a fine woman, a fine lawyer.
With a fine sense of style. Her leopard noose outfit is just fantastic.
But whatever she is talking about, it's her own opinions. I'm not responsible for them. The president isn't, nor is anybody else on our legal team.
I got that part, right?
But I got that you mean that. But she was in the White House.
But what is she? I mean, if the reports are right, and I know some of these folks have picked her up going in and out of the West Wing, but is she, to the best of your knowledge, meeting with the president about some of these strategic moves to either
without you, Rudy,
impound or seize voting machines or become a special counsel to investigate fraud?
Well, look, it's my responsibility as the president's lawyer, along with Jenna and some of the others.
Some of the others?
We're going to be extremely aggressive. We're going to fight for our client as hard as we can. But we're also going to do it within the bounds.
Which, of course, is, Poroshenko and... Oh, sorry.
Bounds of rationality, common sense, and the law.
Wait, what? What are you going to fight for, Rudy?
We're going to be extremely aggressive. We're going to fight for our client as hard as we can.
Sure.
But we're also going to do it within the bounds of rationality, common sense, and the law.
Well, that's news. When did that shit start?
And it can be done. There's no reason to go beyond anything. This election was a theft. It can be proven. I can tell you one simple thing that would prove it. Make the American people feel really good.
Okay, great. Make me feel good, Rudy. Make me feel good.
5 or 6 of these crooked governors.
Five or six. Five. Let's go with 5.
Could let us have access to the machines.
They could let what?
Simple thing that would prove it. Make the American people feel really good.
Good.
5 or 6 of these crooked governors could let us have access to the machines.
Who's us, asshole? You have to show a reasonable reason why the court would give you relief. Look at Sean Spicer's face. I can tell you something that would make the United States feel really good. Honestly, if you really want it, if you want to feel, that's what I want to do. I want to make America feel good, okay? So I can tell you one thing that'll make America feel good. If the federal government would allow me personally to audit the Fed, just get me in there with a couple of calculators and a supercomputer and give me about 8 to 10 months, and I could just go over the records financially for the entire United States, every transaction in and out. And then people could really trust the dollar again. That would make everybody feel real good. Jesus, I want to make America feel good. Make me feel good, Rudy. You know what would make America feel? You know what would make me feel horribly about my country is if this dickhead could just gripe his way into messing around with voting machines. What is the bar that is so goddamn low that without showing any statistical reasoning, any kind of mathematical reason that, beyond their insanity, that there can't be that many voters, are there? I mean, in Michigan, you wrote Minnesota. I meant Minnesota. Well, you wrote Michigan. Shit. Without doing those kind of mistakes, that would make the court seek an extraordinary injunction whereby a private party, because the president in his campaign does not represent the presidency. And no matter how much Bill Barr thinks that everything the president does is presidential, that still doesn't, in the eyes of the court, it doesn't matter. So Rudy Giuliani representing Donald John Trump as individual running for president a second time as a citizen of the United States, and his, Apple dumpling gang, and then the RNC as a private campaign organization trying to get their person elected, could present 3 people a bunch of affidavits that don't even get the gender of the person signing them right to a court, which they won't present to the court until the court okays their request for relief, which is legally nuts. But they would get access. You tell me you'd feel great about your country if that group of people could just get automatic access to voting machines.
In fact, if they did, maybe I would have to apologize.
Yeah, you would.
For saying they're crooked.
Yeah, you would. And by the way, wait till the lawsuits from Dominion start flowing.
But I have no idea why they're hiding these machines.
They're not hiding them. You have no right to just look at the voting machines of anyone. Like, what security clearance do you have? What's your dude gonna do when he comes in how low is the goddamn bar that I as a citizen on behalf of somebody else could sue to see to audit forensically and have access to the voting machines of an entire state, wherein I could stick any number of drives or whatever I want, pull stuff off onto my own computer, because that's what they're asking to do, so that I can go through the contents of the code and not release that code to everyone on Earth.
If I had these machines and they showed it was a legitimate election,
how would they show that? Is it 3 cherries? You dipshit.
I would have you come in and look at it tomorrow. But they have been fighting me for 2 months.
Why?
They will not let us look at a Dominion machine because the 22 that we looked at were like...
Well, then they did let you look at them. And why are you looking at the ES&S machines?
Swiss cheese. Anybody could get into them. They ran the vote 3 times. It was 3 different results.
Okay, that's not true either. That wasn't the result of what he got in Antrim County.
Well, more than half the ballots never got registered. They changed the vote 13 times. Now, I'm sorry.
Now this is all stuff, by the way, that he came up with while we've all been sitting. I mean, it's just majestic that this is, again, throwing his ridiculous conjecture up and hoping that just by seeding this constantly, that'll do it. That finally, I got to say my piece. And seriously, if he wants to go, we need to look at the Dominion machines and the ES&S machines and any of the other subcontractors. We need to do a complete review of the software in this country evenly, because the numbers in Kentucky were way off. I might have a little respect, but he seems to only hunker down in areas where they thought they were going to win and they lost.
Sorry, I want to see the rest of the machines before I can figure out who won the election.
Okay. Mayor, I don't have any time left, but I got to ask you a quick question because I need you to explain this to me. The Electoral College has voted, and I think this is where viewers really need to get your insight.
There is no insight to be had. There's no insight. They want to hear his opinion or his prattle. I think it's probably closer to what it is.
The Electoral College voted.
Yeah, you're done.
Congress meets on January 6th to count those votes. My understanding, and this is where I need you to shed some light, is that the
shed some light from this dark, smoky room you're in.
Supreme Court doesn't come back.
Yes, that is Sean Spicer.
In a session until January 8th. So walk me through real quickly, and I apologize for jamming on this.
Yeah, because we got to pretend this is a real show.
How this works, because you've made this petition to the Supreme Court.
Well, between now and then, we're working day and night in the effort to show these state legislatures that their state made a very big mistake.
Yeah, you're doing a great job, by the way.
That their filing is a false statement, that it falsely represents the vote in their state.
It doesn't.
And that it needs to be corrected.
It doesn't.
It needs to be corrected either by there being no decision.
Yeah, so we're going to correct it by nullifying the entire election in a state.
Or, in some cases, it's quite clear that Trump won. So that's our battle right now with the state legislatures.
Good luck with that.
And to somewhat with Congress, because that debate will eventually go to Congress in choosing which slate of electors to select. So tomorrow night, for example, there's a hearing in the Arizona legislature.
No, I got news for you. You'll hear a lot of House reps wailing and gnashing of teeth as well, but they're going to go with the electors certified by their governors. They will.
Legislature, believe it's the House, the Arizona House, and they're actually going to consider decertification.
Okay.
They're going
to
consider decertifying the vote in Arizona.
Well, as this happens, Mayor, I want you to give us an update. Feel free to come back.
Yeah, come back anytime, especially in maybe a well-lit room in Trump hotel.
I want to see where this goes, and
Oh,
I
I still
appreciate
will.
you.
What? Oh, Christina FF, thank you so much. Thanks for gifting the subs. That's really awesome. Bless you. She's done 25 subs. Thank you so much, Christina FF. I adore you. Thank you.
breaking down.
Happy holidays.
Thank you so much, Sean. It's one of the best
What's
new
that?
things on television.
Thank you, Mr.
It's one of the best new things.
Breaking down.
Thank you so much, Sean. It's one of the best
What's
new
that?
things on television.
Yeah, it's one of the best new things. Once it's been on a while, it'll be just as crappy as everything else.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate it, and thank you for sharing
Thank
this with
you.
us tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Mayor. So awesome. Okay, hold on. No, we're not going to an interview with Ron Paul. Now, Rudy followed this up by calling in. Wait, is this the right one? I'm going to make sure because I reopened a page. Give me 1 second. I appreciate that. And love to all the Motang peeps right back at you. There we go. Saga Warren. Oh, Jesus. That's the 17th. That's 5 days ago? 6 days ago. 5 days ago. Weird. Hold on 1 second. So the in gathering up all these videos, increasingly the problem, I live behind an iron curtain, as many of you know, of videos to pull simply because there's just no one. Oh wait, is that it? Yeah, that's the guy.
Because it is the Christmas season, I'm going to call him by his full name.
Quit it.
Because it is.
Pause. This is awful and loud. Rudy called into Glenn Beck's radio show to talk about Sidney Powell and Jenna Ellis and the whole crowd. This is, by the way, this is where your Glenn Beck money goes. Not only does he have his big The Blaze set, but they've got all this stuff going on. I mean, look at this. This is what, once I hit 500 patrons, sky's the limit. But look at this calendar of guests going on over here. Segments, these little pieces of audio that come through that play commercials and that kind of stuff. And you can see the timing clock, reflected in the glass that's in there. All of his big logos and everything. All these nice things. They even got the logo on the desk, and it's a multi-person desk. And then there's all the. I don't know if you guys can see it. The copy on the little screen over there, because he's got his own little version of a teleprompter where he can read out stuff that's probably what's on this giant touch screen thing that he has. So if you give your money to Glenn Beck, it's well spent, making Glenn's life very easy. Yeah, the mixer's really a virtual mixer, but yeah, it's a solid piece of machinery. Oh yeah, I have definite studio envy. This is, yeah. He wishes, Mike Pence wishes he had this kind of a setup. If he had this kind of a setup, he would have never been VP. Who needs this kind of a headache? So Rudy calls in to Glenn Beck's show, and it can't be anything but fantastic, I'm guessing, right?
The Christmas season, I'm going to call him.
Oh, and he's got a camera slider going nonstop. This thing just is on a rail. Oh, it's on a built-in rail. Son of a bitch. Watch it. See it moving?
His full name, Rudolph Giuliani.
That's that camera that's doing the moving. That's what Rudy has now going is, yeah.
Is with us now. Hey, Rudy, how are you?
Burp. Did he just fart while we were doing that?
Hey, Rudy, how are you?
Hey, Rudy, how you doing?
I could be better. We could not have. We could have Donald Trump serving another term. Real quick, I want to touch on this.
Don't say that. Don't say that to Rudy. He thinks it's going to happen, dummy.
Continuing the investigation.
What's with the white mic holder and stand and coordinated? What? I mean, his hair matches his mic stand the way my hair matches mine. I suppose that. All right.
Yes, we are. There's no reason to stop it. I mean, there's so much to investigate.
Yeah.
So now what we're doing
Please
is
keep
we're
pouring money.
going to forensically examine the
Yeah.
machines. It took all this time to get them available to us.
This is
because
that's an unfortunate angle. This looks like, and so the end is near.
all these secretaries of state are playing cover-up. But we're going to start examining the machines in Arizona, in Maricopa County,
Totally.
to see how similar they are to the machines in Michigan that turned out to be 62% inaccurate. And I'd like you to note that the hearing yesterday, Mr. Krebs said, he read that report and, 62% clerical inaccuracies. I mean, so what? That means more of the vote was wrong than right.
No, it doesn't. That's unofficial count stuff. That has nothing to do with any of it. And you're taking singular instances and laying them on top of each other to create the illusion of a percentage.
Yeah, I know. I know. I read the report, and I read his testimony too. He acted like he said it was nonsense. I couldn't even understand the report. I read the report. It's easy to understand.
It's nonsense. It's easy to understand nonsense.
Very easy to understand. The machine.
Look, I read the report. It's easy to understand. Doesn't actually make any sense, but
The machine is like a computer. You can change it anytime you want.
Yeah.
no, you can't change a computer anytime you want.
It's not a counting machine. It's a calculating machine.
So is there a
Yeah, very important distinction. Also, go off on how the Secretary of State can't pick the electors, even if the state Senate allows them to by passing a law in 1866.
possibility of a special counsel or anything that can't be stopped?
There is a possibility of that. And
Yeah.
I think that
Totally, and it's going to be Sidney Powell, and Rudy couldn't be madder.
once we get these preliminary results from Arizona, we can see whether one is justified. I also
Wait, what? After we get these preliminary results from Arizona, we can see if one is justified. What have you been doing for 2 months if one is justified?
think there's a chance that if we could uncover 10,000 votes that were changed in Arizona.
Yes, if you could uncover 100,000 votes that were changed in Arizona, you could absolutely overturn the election. If you had a time machine,
The Arizona legislature might just take this into their own hands.
yeah, if you could prove something you can't prove, maybe they would do something they wouldn't do. What could be easier?
The people of Arizona actually almost had a popular rebellion.
Yeah, that's what happened.
The state legislature was about to put this aside, and they started demonstrations about 10 days ago,
Yeah.
all throughout Arizona, because they claimed they know their election was stolen.
Yeah. So what it was nearly split down the middle. Yes, it's divided. Yes, there's a lot of Arizonians who followed Trump around when he was in the state. All of those people will show up on courthouse steps and act like assholes. That doesn't make the election a fraud.
Now,
You don't understand. These people are really mad. But how mad?
think of why they
They're like so mad. Oh, well, then we probably got to look.
know their election was stolen. He lost by 10,000 votes.
Yep, he did lose by 10,000 votes. First truthful thing so far.
How many illegal immigrants do
know.
you think voted in Arizona?
Yeah, I know. Yeah?
No.
100,000? 200,000?
Yeah, clearly. Half the state's illegal. I mean, have you seen those people? When are we going to get a papers law?
Of course it's stolen.
Why aren't we stopping and frisking everybody who looks vaguely Hispanic in the Arizona? I mean, honestly, they're probably all on the way to the voting booth right now. Probably anytime you see a line outside a taco shop, they're probably just voting, right, Rudy? Absolutely. I totally.
So
From your goatee to God's ears.
1,000 dead people voted.
Why does he look like a banjo player's personal librarian?
That's pretty close to stealing it right there.
Rudy, we have a real problem
And it's you.
if we don't trust the process. If we lose trust in this vote, we have nothing left.
Yeah, nothing. Not the rule of law, not functioning government, I mean, you have nothing left. Just tear down the studio and run naked out into a field. You have nothing left, Glenn. I'm sure when Biden is sworn in, you will have a crisis on both emotional, psychological, and philosophical like you've never had before. You're going to have to move to Mar-a-Lago, dig a hole, bury yourself into it up to your neck like a true believer, and let Trump use your head as a golf tee forever and ever. Because what else is there, honestly?
It is vital that you and others continue to find the facts. And when you have a buttoned up case, when
you have facts, call me.
you have a Hunter Biden computer, you've got to release it, and it's got to be. This has to stop. Are you convinced at all that we can trust the vote in Georgia?
Yeah, why haven't you released the laptop, Rudy, is what he's saying. You keep saying you have this thing. Where the shit is it?
No, it's the same machine.
Yeah.
They haven't changed it one bit. The same illegal rules.
Yeah, the same ones that were used in 2016. We couldn't trust that election. Oh, shit.
They're already saying that there's more turnout now in Georgia than there was for the general election.
Uh-huh.
Well, there's no reason to believe that it'll be an honest vote.
Have you seen all the black people that are voting? We stopped them before. We were successful in limiting the number of voting machines. Now they can mail in their vote. How the hell are we supposed to stall people out? How are we supposed to stop minorities from voting if we can't create 7-hour lines? This is just unfair, you guys.
Machines are not secure machines.
But
They don't have signature verification.
Donald Trump
Anybody can sign anything that they want.
and Donald Trump has been saying you've got to go out and vote. I want to switch because I know you are short.
And Donald Trump's, you can't trust these machines. There's no way of saying this is a fair election. But Donald Trump's been saying, please go out and vote. Jesus Christ, these guys.
On time. Let me go to Bill Barr and Durham, the
please.
special counsel. I'm really disappointed in Bill Barr. I know everybody loves him, but I'm very disappointed in him.
I'm very happy that you're very disappointed.
There can't be anyone who had more respect and more trust in Bill Barr than I did. I don't know what happened.
So your judgment sucks. So we just start there. Okay. So that Rudy Giuliani says he's the person who trusted and believed in Bill Barr the most, and yet we're supposed to trust his judgment about the Arizona elections and the Georgia elections.
I really almost can't answer for it. It's totally inexplicable to me.
Yeah, it's weird. It's almost like he's following the law and you can't wrap your head around
Particularly since the Hunter Biden allegations.
Yeah.
Allegations.
The Joe Biden allegations are 2 years old, Glenn.
I know.
It's almost as if you've had this laptop for a year and a half right back after you got back from Ukraine and found it at the blind Delaware repair shop guy's place who just magically called your attorney and gave it to you, and you gave it to the FBI, and they, obviously don't have the same level of technology that your IT guy has. And you've looked at you've found awful things on that, dirty pictures, and now you sleep with it under your pillow.
Years old. They're not. Is it new?
And he knew it, and he wouldn't verify, and he hid behind. Well, we just don't do that. No, that's. Am I wrong, Rudy?
Of course you're right. I tried to make that point.
I tried.
We could have first done
But guys,
18 months ago.
Right.
But guys,
before the election, I tried to argue to anybody I could. It's better to do it now than wait until after the election.
And
well,
right.
Let's do it now. Let's get it over with. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not true. If
Right.
it's true, he can't run. He's got to go to jail. If it's not true, well, then he was wronged, and he'll probably win.
I think conservatives are missing the point on this. They're also
they're totally missing the point that you should be able to accuse your opponent, a Democrat, of anything you want without any evidence whatsoever. And when people ask to see the evidence, you take a printout piece of paper that kind of vaguely looked like, and you just hold it up like that, and then put it back down and go, there it was. I can't help it if you can't read.
saying, "Oh, look, the press is admitting it now." No, they're not. They're saying this is a tax scandal. This is a money laundering scandal.
No, they're not saying it's a tax scandal. They're saying and rightly so, that Trump's DOJ has been directed to go after Hunter Biden. There was a pause before the election, but that's Trump literally shoehorning this election into existence, this investigation into existence. And it's still going on because Trump is trying to take down Biden, and this is one of the ways he thinks he can. Talk to me in a year and a half when it's all done, and it shows the results, and they're like, yeah, it's kind of like the Hillary email scandal and all the other things. Like, it turned out to be nothing.
It is also on the same emails that are being, touted as true now by the mainstream media. They leave out the big guy. They leave out the my dad needs a key to the office. All of that stuff.
You mean all the fake emails that were crafted in Ukraine? You mean all the Russian disinfo that was put on the hard drive before it was given to Rudy to bring back? You mean that stuff? You mean they're not talking about that part of it? They're talking about the fact that the DOJ has an investigation into taxes and seeing if money passed through accounts and whether or not that was taxed appropriately. But what?
This implicates...
They also leave out the one they used to hate me for putting on television. They actually kept me off television for a long time because of this one text. Hunter texts his father, or he texts his daughter.
This is maybe they won't make you pay for everything, because he's griping about paying for something for his daughter at a certain point.
I had to always kick back half.
That's not what he said. You have the text in front of you. Maybe you won't have to give 50% of your income, to Pop or whatever it is. Is like, he has it. I don't have it. He has the text. Read the text as it is. Kick back
to Pop for 30 years.
Right.
That's the whole conspiracy. 30 years of kicking back to his Pop.
Will there be a special counsel? Can the president appoint a special counsel, and will he before he leaves office?
Well, this is my advice as a citizen. I can't tell you my advice as a lawyer, but my advice as a citizen is we need to have a special counsel.
Oh, totally.
We have to get to the bottom of this, and don't make no mistake about it.
No, make some mistake. I mean, why stop now?
The target of the investigation is Joe Biden.
Look at the dude back, like this guy right here, tapping his hand on the table, like, okay.
Hunter is a small player in this. Hunter is like one of the soldiers in the mafia.
They're gonna start doing
Joe's like the head of the family, and there's plenty of evidence against Joe. You can't. One of the reasons they don't want to really open up the investigation.
Why don't they really want to? Why doesn't Rudy Giuliani want to open up about the investigation against him?
If you open up the investigation, immediately Joe goes to the top of the list of people that have to be considered for indictment.
Right.
Immediately. No competent investigator, prosecutor wouldn't do a chart here.
And go, here's his assets. Here's how much money he takes in. Here's 21 years of his taxes. He has no offshore accounts. His son's money is his son's money. They don't have access to 30 years of half of whatever his son has been taking in. They don't seem to spend like that. They live in a completely reasonable house for the money that they take in. His wife works too. Yeah, okay, back to the bottom of the list.
The family case gone on for 30 years. Well, I'm telling you who's on the top of that chart. And there's evidence he's been getting money for 30 years.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, Rudy. Yeah, well, it's super stuff, and thanks for bringing it up.
Let's talk about pardons for a second. I know we've got to cut you loose here, but...
yeah, they're like... He just issued new ones but from Mar-a-Lago? Trump did? Okay, we'll take a look at them.
Please tell the president he should pardon his family. And I know it doesn't cover, state things, but they are going to kill that family any way they possibly can until he says, I'm never going to run again. And I hope he just keeps stirring it up when he gets out. He should also look into pardoning Lil Wayne, for his support for Donald Trump. He's now
it's a federal crime to support Donald Trump? Wow.
Getting trouble.
Oh, my. Well, I'm sure he's looking at this very, very carefully. And that's something I really can't talk about. But the president has a big heart. The president knows nobody knows better what happened than the president of the United States.
I know.
Nobody knows.
Yeah. Nobody knows the trouble he's seen. Nobody knows but Donald.
The magnitude of this obstruction of our government.
Roger Stone
This
and
could be the worst
Manafort.
thing that's ever happened internally.
Okay, we'll jump over there real quick. We don't need to see these idiots off. Hold on one second. I mean, not surprising. He's basically just pardoning the whole gang. This is an admission that he's leaving, by the way. Let's see. Let's see. I'll find them. That was it. Hold on. Is it on? Are you seeing it on the Twitter machine? Dun, dun, dun. Yep. Let's see. Charles Kushner, Paul Manafort, Roger Stone. Yeah, more pardons for friends and associates. Oh, Maggie Haber News. Trump pardons Stone, Manafort, Charlie Kushner, story to come. Yeah, I mean, he's basically just pardoning anybody, like basically his entire gang. I would like to say for the record, though, that a bunch of these pardons, especially like maybe Charles Kushner probably gets a break. But, and is he still in jail? Was Charles, I thought he got out already, but whatever. Like Manafort, Stone, those guys will also break other laws. Everybody he's letting out, except maybe Papadopoulos, who probably won't do anything of merit ever. We'll just never hear from him again. Essentially, let's see. Our bail's victims. Gotcha. Is he thinking about? He's thinking about pardoning Robert Bales? Whoa. Yikes. Yeah, not surprising that he's going to be basically pardoning everybody in his, in that had anything to do with Mueller. If you were sentenced under the Mueller investigation, he's going to pardon them or give them clemency. Honestly, he's gonna do it. Scott Baio pardoned for what? For allowing Charles in charge to die on the vine. Latest wave of commutations and pardons is bigger than the list released last night. Latest chipping away the Mueller probe use of his pardon for allies and friends in the final weeks. Manafort, Stone, Charles Kushner doled out clemency to a new group of loyalists. Two others pardoned declined to cooperate with prosecutors, Manafort and Stone. Batch of 26 pardons and 3 computations disclosed by the White House after Trump left for Palm Beach. Also in the list, Margaret Hunter, the estranged wife. Oh, he did finally hit Duncan Hunter's wife. Yesterday he left her off the list, but they added her. This is all his cleanup. And let's see. 65 of 65 pardons and commutations that Mr. Trump had granted before Wednesday, 60 have gone to petitioners who had a personal tie to Trump or held his political aims. The The pardons to Mr. Manafort and Mr. Stone on the same day will be particularly stinging to the former special counsel Robert Mueller and his team. By the way, those guys will break more crimes, break more laws, commit more crimes, and end up being back in, more than likely Manafort leaves the country. Neither man fully cooperated. Yeah, they're getting pardoned because they kept their mouths shut. Mr. Kushner's pardon has been one of the most anticipated of the Trump presidency, father-in-law of the president's older daughter, Ivanka Trump. It was a searing event in his family's life. Pleaded guilty in 2004 to 16 counts of tax evasion, a single count of retaliating against a federal witness, and one of lying to the Federal Election Commission. Served 2 years in prison before being released in 2006. Yeah, so he's been out. So this is basically like a pardon so that he can go on. It's like, everybody knows he's guilty of the same stuff. None of it. Anybody who would do business with that dude knows what they're getting into. Let's see. More Manafort stuff. Yep. And then they go into some past story. Yeah. So we'll see. You're going to see a bunch of that. He's basically just going to bail out anybody. Yeah, that's what we're talking about, Andrea. So nobody is surprised about any of this. I don't see Charles Kushner, getting in any more legal trouble after this fact. He's basically just having his record wiped clean. But I don't know how this helps you. Being, a pardon when you're in jail is one of material gain because you get out of jail. Getting pardoned after, unless it, expunges something because you were wrongly convicted, and it's a well-known thing that, like some civil rights leader who was, wrongly convicted by a racist jury in the 60s and, and either passed away or is living and is very old, and you grant them a pardon because you want to recognize that they were wrongfully convicted in the first place or what have you. That has some meaning. It's not going to affect Charles Kushner's life to have that, it's just going to have like, oh, you're the dude that Trump pardoned. You must have been guilty. Yeah, this is all, yeah. The murderers, backing up to that one. Yeah, there is no, I'm going to scroll that back to pardons due to fruit of the poisonous tree, Russian vacation. Yeah, no. The pardons are Trump covering, is payback for these people not ratting, essentially. I mean, it's like for all this this nonsense talk about how the Biden crime family. This is Trump essentially like mobbing it up. So not surprising. Massive dumps were definitely pardoned. Clearly, this video on the COVID bill waited all day to hear response. The one we did that yesterday, Donna's, but it's very short, so I can show it to you again. We did, yeah. His 4-minute drag on the COVID thing, which by the way he retweeted on his own line. Let me see if I can find it. It was a little weird. So Trump's own Twitter feed, he does a lot of this. Hold on, there it is. Boink. First of all, let's look at this real quick. This is his Iran. Look, 3 bombs that were dropped but did not explode that have like "from Iran with love" written on them. Our embassy in Baghdad got hit Sunday by several rockets. 3 rockets failed to launch. Failed to launch. Guess where they were from? Iran. Guess where they were from? Iran. Now we hear chatter of additional attacks against Americans in Iraq. Oh, chatter, do we? Chatter, pictures. I mean, why aren't we just going full Iraq? Why in the world can't we? Isn't there something? Hold on, didn't I what? There's plenty of trolls. And we appreciate them. Thanks. Oh, look at that. Thank you. Right in time, Jennifer. Thank you so much for becoming a patron. Patreon.com/houseparks. They're slow, and this is his other complaint. They're slow walking the signature verification in Georgia. They don't want us to get our results prior to January 6th. They know what they know what they are trying so hard to hide. Terrible people, Brian Kemp, Republican governor. This in and of itself, hilarious. This was his little video, and already he's like, right out of the gate, don't slow down. Slow down. The one issue that I think everybody's finally noticed after I jumped on it with both feet, if you'll recall, because this basically came out as we were talking about this nonsense.
Cruelly blocked COVID relief legislation
Oop,
in an effort to
very
advance
quiet.
their extreme left-wing agenda.
Their extreme left-wing agenda.
And influence the election. Then a few months
This is his whole thing. The Democrats blocked it, right?
ago, Congress started negotiations on a new package to get urgently needed help to the American people.
Which Trump had no part of and sent Steve Mnuchin down to work on. And Steve Mnuchin's sole job from the Trump White House perspective was to talk down direct payments.
It's taken forever. However, the bill they are now planning to send back to my desk is much different than anticipated. It really is a disgrace.
By the way, this is the part where he confuses the budget for the country and the stimulus. And the reason he's doing this is because he saw the little chart that where is it? Let me see if he probably retweeted the graphic somewhere in here. Do we have it in? Yeah. It might be up higher because they kick it off. Those are retweets. So, oh my God, what is that? What? Abraham Lincoln was once asked how it felt to be the greatest president ever. Lincoln's reply was, I don't know, you'll have to ask Donald Trump. Fire, fire, fire. Cute. And you guys think I have a big ego. Criminy. Go back up here to the rest of this nonsense. So right about here.
$34 million to Burma. $1.3 billion for Egypt.
By the way, all of these, and I tweeted this earlier, but all of these things, including the amount for Egypt, is precisely what the Trump campaign, the Trump White House asked for Egypt in the budget. Everything he's bitching about right now, every one of these things.
$1 billion for Egypt and the Egyptian military, which will go out and buy almost exclusively Russian military equipment. $25 million for democracy and gender programs in Pakistan.
You mean letting girls go to school?
$505 million to Belize, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, and Panama.
By the way, these are all standard parts of the budget.
$40 million for the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C., which is not even open for business. $1 billion for the Smithsonian, and an additional $154 million.
Trump's own budget asked for $147 million.
For the National Gallery of Art. Likewise, these facilities.
Yes, pardoning is an admission of guilt.
Are essentially not open. $7 million for reef fish management. $25 million to combat Asian carp.
Yeah, ask the fishermen. The fishermen love Trump.
$2.5 million to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, they don't have a person down there going, 1, 2, shit, he swam away. 1, 2, they keep moving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a minute under awe, they swam away. 1, shit. Can we mark them with a marker? Has anybody got a Sharpie?
A provision to promote the breeding of fish in federal hatcheries. $3 million in poultry production technology. $2 million to research the impact of downed trees.
Downed trees, not trees made out of goose feathers, just for the record. Anyways, so he goes on about these things that are in the standard budget. He doesn't actually understand.
It's hardworking taxpayers with only $600 each in relief payments. And not enough money is given to small businesses, and in particular restaurants, whose owners have suffered so grievously They were only given
They
a
were only given a... I love his pleading voice.
deduction for others to use
it's
in
too
business
much.
their restaurant for
It's
2 years.
for 2 years. You only get a tax break, so you can write off business dinners for only 2 years. Oh.
This 2-year period must be
Yes, he's reading from a teleprompter.
withdrawn, which will allow the owners to obtain financing and get their restaurants back in condition.
What condition is this?
Congress
You mean
can
put all the chairs back in place?
terminate it at a
What the hell does condition mean?
much later date, but 2 years is not acceptable. It's not enough. Congress found plenty of money for foreign countries, lobbyists, and
By the way, the 2 years thing, again, proves that he knows he's lost.
special interests, while sending the bare minimum to the American people who need it. It wasn't their fault. It was China's fault.
Yeah, you mean the people you sold all our soybeans, corn, and beef to?
Not their fault.
No, it was you, because you were signing a deal with them and you didn't want to piss them off, so you slow-walked your response for COVID because you didn't want to embarrass them. And then it was too late, and then you got all mad and you blamed them for you losing the election.
I am asking Congress to amend this bill and increase the ridiculously low $600 to $2,000 or $4,000 for a couple.
Oh, that's weird. Act now. 2,000 plus 2,000, and a couple means two. I can do the maths.
Also asking Congress to immediately get rid of the wasteful and unnecessary items from this legislation and to send me a suitable bill, or else the next administration will have to deliver a COVID relief package.
Guess what? They're going to.
And maybe that administration will be me,
Maybe not.
and we will get it done. Thank you very much.
Well, why didn't you get it done? What are you waiting for? This is like Rudy and his stupid evidence. We could show you so much stuff. Well, then friggin' show it. Wait, he just retweeted this too, probably on the plane. America, VP Pence must do this tomorrow to defend our Constitution from our enemies. Let him know. Big tech censorship, MSM censorship, corrupt officials at the federal state. What do I have to let them know? Memorandum for the president. Subject, Operation Pence Card. Jesus. The White House, Washington, D.C. On December 23rd, we will notify each Secretary of State which certified for Biden on the fraud occurred, and that he hasn't received any certificates of legally appointed electors their votes because of the fraud. The Vice President further requests that the secretaries of those states and the relevant district attorneys send the certificates of legally appointed electors and their votes. Like this is Sidney Powell bullshit and Rudy Giuliani's idea. Look at this nonsense. Each state shall appoint in such manner as the legislature thereof may direct a number of electors. Yeah, this is, and thanks for underlining this, by the way, jackass. This part right here, this bit right here, in such manner as the legislature thereof may direct. They can use whatever standard. If they want to use a bingo system or set rats on a piece of cheese and whoever gets to the lead ball bearing in the middle of it first, that's how they pick the elector. It does not matter. That's it. This is, don't put the thing where your whole thing falls apart in the very first line. 14th Amendment, Section 1, nor shall any state, with bullshit that doesn't, it's into our case, deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. You mean the red counties owe it to mail-in voters to count there so you can drive the vote up more in Philadelphia or in Pennsylvania for Biden? Failure of certificates of electors to reach the President of the Senate or Archivist of the United States demand on state for certificate when no certificate of vote and list is mentioned in Section 911. This title from any state shall have been received by the President of the Senate or by the Archivist by the fourth Wednesday in December. After the meeting of the lecture should have been held, the President of the Senate, or if he be absent from the seat of government, the Archivist shall request by the most expeditious manner available Secretary of State to set up the certificate and list lodged with them by the electors of each state, and it shall be his duty upon it to immediately to transmit by some registered mail to the President of the Senate at the seat of government. Same demand on district judge of certificate with no, honestly. Analysis. Dun, 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 dun. Why a president of the Senate cannot receive legally insufficient state electors. Article 2, Section 1 of the United States requires that each state shall appoint in such manner as the legislature thereof may direct, which they did through laws assigning the Board of Electors or the Secretary of State to do it. It's a perfunctory act. A number of electors. The number of electors is equal to the number of state legislators. They pass that on in volume to that. It doesn't matter. Therefore, the papers or slates the states attempted to submit to the President and the Senate are not legal. Permissible certificates of votes enlisted by like Operation Pence. Like this jackass from Ivan Penscard Rakelin. Constitutional lawyer. Trump wins. Worst scenario in contingent election. 12A in Congress. 26-22-2 on Jan 6. Fight like a Flynn. Veterans for Trump. Team Sydney. Yeah. Tell us again, Jesus. Tell us again, Rudy, how Sidney Powell is off the deep end and none of this. Good Lord. Team Sydney. Veterans for Trump, fight like a Flynn. This is the dude who's that fight like a Flynn is Elin Woods or Ellen Woods nonsense. President of the case. So conclusion. Guys, conclusion. All of these factors above inform and contribute to the Vice President's analysis in deciding that he, as a representative of the federal seat of government, did not receive a constitutionally permissible slate of electors. For that reason, he is not only duty bound to request that the United States send certificates and lists as required by Title 3 that were appointed in the manner that the state legislatures directed as soon as possible, he is also the sole plenary power that he has authority to make his determination. Yeah, I'm sorry, but the individual state senators do not get to override the popular vote in their state and simply appoint a conscientious objector as their elector who simply wants to vote their party no matter what. Like this, I mean, never mind that they eat their entire argument by underlying in such manner as the legislature thereof may direct, meaning that the legislatures a long time ago said, we're going to set up, this is complicated, we're going to set up a board of electors. They'll pick people who become the electors because it's a fait accompli anyways. We don't, we're not appointing buddies. These are these are nonpartisan seats ultimately. And it's a perfunctory act. The electors themselves are not the actual people. They're basically, because the electors used to get killed on their way riding in on horseback, you didn't want to send all the state legislators so that the state legislations of any state in general was completely void of personnel during the election cycle when they all had to ride horses into D.C. This is so stupid. Anyway, so the President of the United States, for the next 28 days anyways, just retweeted this garbage. And this garbage and that garbage and his own garbage and him doing the same garbage twice. And Newt Gingrich, who is garbage. And this same video we've seen a bunch of times on OAN, which is garbage. And we've talked about multiple times. And basically, look, I get it. I get it that there's a good number of trolls that are, oh, look at that, another one. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Patty Lynn, for becoming an annual subscriber, it would seem, on Patreon. Thank you so much. That's fantastic. Bless you. I really appreciate that. We're getting close to our actual number of 500. It's incredible. I don't know. Yeah, so people can, by the way, become annual subscribers on Patreon now. They don't have to do it monthly if that bothers you. So at whatever tier you want to use, you can do that. That's fantastic. Yay! So I appreciate, again, we have to send out some love, especially at this point in the show, because they seem to be coming in hot and heavy, and really, they're very upset. They're very upset. And I think we're at 472 now? Is it 472? Yeah. We're getting there. 473. Yay! So, I mean, obviously the trolls are having a very hard time right now. it's, they're tired of winning, clearly. 478. Oh my God. Woo! And where are they going to go? I mean, they've already had their little Q pages ripped down. They've got to make a living. The trolls themselves are, it's expensive, living in a Macedonian apartment by yourself, living off of European potato chips that you don't even like. They're not the same. They just aren't the same ones you got from home, honestly. So we appreciate them for, boosting our numbers. The kind of numbers we're getting on the show have been growing ever since we've started, but it's kind of amazing watching the spike over time. It's impressive. I thought it would drop off when Trump started hiding and living in the basement and hiding out in the bunker and, tweeting from the toilet and screaming into the void. All the things he accused Biden of doing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, it takes tremendous strength for a man of his intellectual incapacity to pre-tape a 4-minute video before going to his golf resort. But honestly, this is, it's got to be tough for them. I mean, if he's typing in all caps like this and retweeting Sidney Powell's fans, how must the trolls have it? It's just, Now, granted, I wish more of them were actually Americans, and I wish more of them actually, there were a couple that actually believed in Trump or actually cared about him or whatever, and weren't just, paid fluffers for the RNC and for the Trump campaign that, get a nickel for every post they put on that they can verify. So they have to put the thing in and then screenshot it and save it. It's a lot of work for so much, so little money. It's not surprising that that's who they work for. But in terms of, the trolling world, it's really a joy to watch them still kind of carry that torch as best they can, and and again, like I said, if it wasn't for them initially and them griping about us and going, why is this showing up in my feed? It wouldn't have, puffed up our algorithm as much where we've shown up in everybody's feed like this. It's really, honestly, so I partly feel sorry for them, but in the end, I'm grateful. And I think, let's see, how do I do this in a way that they can really appreciate it? First of all, let's see what are my favorite trolls that I get. One is, are you growing your hair long because you're a girl? Which for some reason those are the ones you can spot, the Eastern European trolls, because they have sort of, a daddy issue, macho bullshit kind of an attitude that long hair makes you a woman or gay, and gays and women are weak, and therefore why would you want to grow your hair to look weak, that kind of thing. Never mind that, a lot of them listen to Norwegian death metal and they all have long hair, but whatever. We'll see. And Jesus, and all the apostles and whatever. Anyway, point I'm trying to make is that, the kind of like weird sexist attacks, as if I, in particular, that would be the one way that you would really get at me. A, because I'm consciously letting my hair grow, and so obviously I don't give a shit. But secondly, you do realize I was on Queer as Folk, right? Literally, there are no, and I'm proud of it. So there's no, I'm just saying, back up, think a little bit, and try a little harder. The one that goes with it too is dye job, because they think I dye my hair black. When it's actually brown, it's just like I said, the high contrast aspect of it. You can see it when I get closer. You can see it's more brown, but Anyways, those are good. Those I like. What's the other one? Who are you? That's obviously who are you is the good one, right, guys? I mean, honestly. Who are you? And that's easy to clear up. The first is, I'm the guy whose page you're on. So you've come to my, my Periscope or my Facebook or my, my YouTube page or whatever. Like, you're watching me. So that's who I am. I'm not anybody but the guy who's right in front of you on the page you came to. Which is, they're like home invaders going, how are there people here? It's adorable. What's the other good ones? Yeah, is there a WTF version of that? I think it's just the who that, yeah. I mean, yeah, who are you? Especially the ones that come to the Facebook page because they have to actually get in. I mean, that's where most of the trolls are. They're in Periscope, because it takes a little less effort, Oh, yeah, and earrings. Well, I don't have my earrings in right now, though. So, but when I have my earrings in, I'm flipping out about that along the lines of the long hair thing. That's fun. Oh, yes, and I think I'm smart. That's a good one. Thank you, Richard McNeil. Yes, I think I'm smart. When in reality, the essence of my intelligence largely lends itself more to wit and memory, and it's really my ability to call up things like the Choice Act, for example, or documentary evidence, or the actual rules in Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Arizona, Georgia, Nevada about how elections are carried out, where I end up just simply because I read them once, knowing more about them than Rudy, who read them 9 times and still can't figure out what the shit what they mean. What's the other one? What's the let's see. And then I'm a commie socialist, which is, considering I was pushing for Biden this entire time, is kind of hysterical. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what the other one. I have a Nigerian scammer. That's fun. Oh yeah, the House Sparks sucks things. But that House Sparks sucks and the Trump 2020, that's basically just the rubber stamp. They just take the name of the person. Those are some. I am wicked smart, but that there seems to be that's part of the rubber stamp of what they do. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that those even qualify as trolls in that regard. They just kind of have to. It's just like a rubber stamp action that they carry out, right? No. Hold on one second. Let's see. Delete. There we go. I think I found the scammer. I got like using system channel organized all this. People Trump is all their transactions. What? Oi. There it is again. Are you talking about the person who's like putting a phone number in the thing and like call and get your free money? That kind of nonsense? Yeah. The hell with you. Let's see. Okay, 1 second. Spamming. Done. Sometimes you have to do. There you go. There you go. Think. Okay, cool. Yeah, because that's, I think I am cool, but I also think I'm a fool. But you put an E back on. I will put my earrings back in. It's a great idea. They're upstairs. Yeah, sometimes you got to weed the garden. Sometimes you got to get in there. That's and again, I don't care if somebody's, politically. Thank you, Benito Munoz. Thank you so much. And by the way, thank you guys going into the holidays for the new patrons and the bits. Everybody at Twitch, we love you. Thank you, Donna's Beach, and the moms. Oh my gosh, bless you. Let me get this over here. And Christina, thank you again for gifting those subs to everybody. It's really awesome. Angelina's resubscribed for 5 months in a row. That's fantastic. And Lil Cam 0917 and Donna's Beach. Oh my gosh, you guys are lovely. Right, where's House Sparks? I'll do you one better. Who is House Sparks? I'll do you one better. Why is House Sparks? Where is House Sparks? I'm right here. Yeah, so anyways, it's nice that we can, gather. It is the holiday season. And we have to offer a level of forgiveness to the trolls among us that are just making ends meet however they can, even if it revolves around them taking a double-sided dong of some sort and inserting it in their own orifice and getting in trouble and having to call the cops to come to their house with the jaws of life. Even then, the trolls, Yes, I will be doing a Christmas show on actual Christmas Day. How is Hal Sparks? Thanks for asking, Panica. But on the actual Christmas Day, I will be doing. I'm going to take Christmas Eve tomorrow. I'm taking the day off. But on the 25th, I'll be on doing a short 1 hour stream in the afternoon for everybody who's just home alone, kind of how we did on Thanksgiving, just to spread a little love. A little song, a little dance, a little seltzer down your pants. I won't do it in the studio. I'll do it out in the house. And so, happy holidays. Thanks, Can't Stop Lying. I will pass that along for sure. Yes, I think you're a socialist. Am I? Am I really? Does anybody want to tell them? Yes. Yes, Joe Biden is president. He will be president. Fear not. Yes. And thanks. Hi, Mark in the UK. What are the subs things about? You can support by subscribing on Facebook. I don't know what it entails, other than it's a way that you can financially support the channel, if you choose to, if you would like to, by being a supporter of the page. That's pretty much it. I don't know much else about it. I'm trying to grow that aspect of it, but I've been focusing more on content and consistency. And so, that hopefully we will get to a point where we can, once I have a producer, I'll be able to run all those things much more smoothly. Thanks, Amy. I think I have a lovely singing voice. I mean, at some point, I've got to do a golden voice kind of a recording, because even jokingly, when I walk around the house singing Christmas songs to myself, I'm like, you know what? Eli, yes, I play ESPs. You know what? I could do one of these kind of, oh, the weather outside is frightful albums. Even jokingly, I'm like, that doesn't sound half bad. I mean, I know I'm dicking around, but, Yes, that's true. I'm focusing more on content. The trolls focus on moron content. It's an important distinction. And by the way, I love you guys too. I appreciate it. And I want to say one of the definitely the silver lining of lockdown and all these kind of things is sort of a renewed sense of community around this show that we've all kind of gathered around, daily over the last few months and trying to manage our sanity during Trump's craziness and stuff. And soon his craziness will come to an end, and I'm sure there will still be things to mock, and I will be able to convert this show over time into something that, that's all joy and no worry would be a good thing. If we could just be this funny without having to worry about Armageddon in the process. That's my dream show for the time being. A little bit of news, but not the kind of, random catastrophes that we have to deal with under this asshole that eventually, will even that out. Thank you, Melinda. Oh, and thank you, Beth. Yeah, that's the only way I'm a socialist is because I bring you guys all together socially. That's it. I'm a socialist. I'm a social gatheringist. Hal Sparks Variety Show. I had a pitch a long time ago. And this is how old this is. This is back when Twitter had half the number of characters available. I pitched a show called 140 Characters, where I do 140 characters over the course of the season, and they're all based on tweets that I find. And I think I got to resurrect that. I don't know if we call it 240 characters or limited we'll call it unlimited characters. And it's just an internet-based sketch show where I'm just doing all the sketches I do for Sexy Liberal, but about everything I see on the internet. I'm just saying, I think, I think it could be a good time. We have another one. We have another scammer. I thought I broomed him out. Oh, no, I guess not. Oh, there he is. Look at that. Thank you there you go. And there. Get feedback, report this. Let's see. Is it nudity, violence, harassment, self-injury, unauthorized? I'll just go with spam. Block. Sorry. Bye. And hide all. Hide. There we go. Oh, done. Mute. Delete. There we go. Thanks for the heads up. Yeah, so I think 240 characters is a good one. Oh, I missed the sticker, Foggy. I apologize. Hold on one second. Let me look it up. I do not want to miss the stickerage. There we go. Back to live. We'll go in here. There's such a slow drag on some of these pages. I don't know why. But we're ending the near of the show, so is it Monty Python spam? Spam, spam, spam. Shut up, bloody Vikings. Let's see. This one, go there in the control room. There we go. Take it in here. I have a lack of funds for drugs, too. I understand that. No, it's not meant for kids. There we go. Come on, it's save. All right. And then, let's see. Nope. Viewer active. There we go. Foggy, thank you so much for the My Hero sticker. And Melinda, thank you for the fist bump. And Beth, thank you. And Robin with a little drum person. And Raphael, thanks very much for the super chat as well. And Aggie with the, what's SEK? Is that Swedish kroners? Is that what that is? Am I bogarting the chat? It happens. Anthony, thank you guys so much. Oh, for the laughing pear. The stickers are a bit weird. I understand. It's hard for people to come on board with. But I appreciate you guys, and I have resisted the urge the entire show to go, hey, it's the holidays. If you feel like sending the show a gift, you can do it. So that was the extent of it. I've done it. There. How's that for a hard sell? Are we looking for $9 million by the end of the month? Of course! But I'm not, I just can't bring myself to do it. So, regardless, I want you guys to have a Merry Christmas. Even if it's not your religious holiday, remember, Christmas is a forgiveness holiday. It is about forgiving those closest to you, your family and friends, and re-gifting, to give to them as before. That's why that's why at Christmas, you give everybody a gift. It's an old pagan holiday, understood, but the basis of it is to remind everybody that whatever we went through this year, whatever pain, whatever anger we might harbor, we still remember we're family and we're friends, and we can give to each other as before. And then so remember, that's how they work. Thanksgiving is being generally thankful for what you have in your life on a material level. Christmas is for forgiving your family, to your family and friends. And New Year's is a renewed forgiveness for yourself. You are reborn in that. That's why you do New Year's resolutions. That's why you set a new standard. Maybe you blew off your goals last year and the year before that, but you still forgive yourself on New Year's to give yourself another chance at that try. So the trio of these holidays specifically are incredibly psychologically important. And since we can't spend that time with each other in person, I was about to say it may not be as clear, but it actually might be a good opportunity for it to become even clearer. Thank you, Lee, so much. It's a reset button. All of these are specific reset buttons. Thanksgiving, letting you get back in touch with being thankful to start with. Christmas, forgiving family and friends and giving to them as before, giving to them from your heart, without any expectation of getting anything back from a loving place in yourself, because you may have lost that because of arguments, distance, difficulties, all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, New Year's is the day you forgive yourself. And all of them are incredibly important, worth meditating on. And I wish you guys great success in doing that for and with your families and for and by yourself over the, yeah. Do I have Summer laughing all day? No, I do not. Because she puts up with all of me, not just the fun parts. So, although, I mean, I gotta be honest, I'm a pretty solid boyfriend. I really am. Pretty rock solid. I'm cuddly. I make breakfast. I'll get you coffee in the morning. Foot rubs, lovin's. I'll run a bath for you. Fresh towels. If there's a noise in the house, I'll go seek out the intruder in my underwear, wielding only a walrus penis. I'm pretty much the goods. I'm not going to lie. Don't get me wrong, because my way of thinking is you don't even go out into public or enter into a relationship unless you're going to throw your best at it, right? Don't even try. What are you doing in a relationship? You're not going to bring your best you. You know what I mean? Come on. My goal with Summer is, as I think every man should have with his partner, is to get my honey-do list lower than my honey-don't list. The honey-don't list, you know, they kind of vie for options. Honey, don't do that. That's a list. And honey, could you please do this? That's a list. You want to keep them both as low as possible. You know, you check the do's off and stop doing the don'ts. I mean, that's the ticket right there. That's what you want, you know, from a mate. So that's what I try to do. And the other thing is, I mean, I'm 51 and I still do sit-ups. So I think you got to bring your A game. Oh, and the walrus penis is true. That's not even a joke. That's real. And I would like to say, do I have an older brother? No, I do not. Although one of these days I will tell you the paranormal story of my older brother. Oh yeah, hang on to that. Put that under The Legend of Hal Sparks, which will be the other show that comes out. And yeah, you hear that, dudes? Yeah. And that applies to two dudes in the same relationship. I can't speak for lesbian couples or what women should bring to a relationship. Not my place, because I can't do anything about it. I do have a sister, though, and she is older than me. But yeah. Can I send you a machete? Yes, you can always send me a machete. What? Yes. I did not. Okay, now it's getting weird. Just let's stick with being lovey and getting cute, you guys. Super weird. But I will, let's see. Fiona says Christmas is celebrate the birth of Christ. It's chances Chower got a jigsaw and a book, and we sat around the table talking about how we love. It's absolutely true. Kung Fu, for the record. I have a lot of honey don'ts. Yeah, the honey don't list is an interminably long list for everyone. And as you're in a relationship longer, the honey don't list gets longer. No, tomorrow I'm going to be off, but so that I can be on Christmas Day for a little bit of time. If that's okay with you guys. And then yeah, I appreciate it, Robert. Heal and take care of yourself, and I'll be here for you, man. And until I'm no longer needed here, this is where I'll be. And yes, I'm from Chicago. I grew up in Kentucky, but Chicago's really my hometown. Thank you, Jay. Do I speak another language? Yeah, I speak French and Chinese. 可是我的中文比我的法文好. My Chinese is better than my French. So, yeah, no show tomorrow. It's Christmas Eve, just a family day, but I will be on Christmas Day. So if that's okay with you guys. So big hugs, big love. I might post a couple of things tomorrow, but we'll see what we can get, as far as that. I might just put a couple of videos up just for you guys to enjoy, that kind of stuff. So, and then Saturday show will be regular, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, turn on your notifications for Christmas Day. That's right. Thank you, Jay. Merci beaucoup. De rien. Je parle français comme une vache espagnole. And to everybody, by the way, who's been watching in Europe and in the UK, especially in the UK with that speedy strain right now, please be careful over the next couple of weeks until they can get a grip on it and kind of lower the incident rate. I adore you guys, and people, the folks in Australia who watch the show, just the kind of growing audience outside the United States. I appreciate you guys. I know you guys have an odd window into our politics over here, and I don't want you to always think it's all gloom and doom, and we've lost our sense of humor about the craziness that's around us. And I'm not going to get lectured by Germans about having a crazy ruler anytime soon, okay? My grandfather was, all right, dealt with yours. So, yeah. So, anyways, I appreciate you guys joining us in here as part of our little group. And anybody who watches this later, I haven't really addressed this either. I know some people watch this on their own time schedule at other times. And I'm not there to see you because you wouldn't be in the chat. And maybe you would be sometime if you could, but it's just too much. Thanks. Thanks for watching. Thanks for, trusting your time with me. Thanks for, enjoying this madness. I know, I see the charts on YouTube that let me know where it gets watched, and it means a lot. And I thank you for sharing your time with me. I really do. It's a beautiful thing. And before I get weepy, I'm just going to thank you guys for helping, especially our patrons. All the Patreon support we've gotten it means why we have lights and a decent mic and the ability to put the show on with some consistency and internet service that can actually carry it and stuff. And eventually we'll blow it out, and I'll even have a desk with a logo on it and a tracking camera. Anyways, and to all my loves in wee bunny Scotland and Irish who are out there, bloody love you. And all of our friends in the UK, from everywhere about the Isles, I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and as much family connection and joy as you can possibly manage during this time when you've not necessarily got closeness in physical person, but you've got closeness in your heart, and maybe it's that absence that makes the heart grow fonder. You know what I mean? And to all the people down in Australia who've been, watching the show and gathering around, everyone in Perth and Sydney and Queensland and everybody stretched out over there, I want to thank you guys. Wish you a Merry Christmas as well. And stay away from the sharks and spiders. And good luck in Thunderdome. And yeah, so, and to all the 中国朋友, wherever they may be, and mon ami de France, my friends in France, and I'm not even going to begin to speak German in there, but to the 2 Thai viewers I have, cup kun cup, yeah, we'll just spread that around. But have a great day tomorrow, everybody. Relax, and I will see you guys on Christmas Day around the normal time, and I'll have I'll post a couple of videos or something tomorrow just to keep you busy if you got nothing else to do. But all right, take care of yourselves, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. Okay, we're gonna do this for real. All right, have a great night. Okay, take care of yourself and take care of somebody else. And happy holidays.